Good evening, everyone, and welcome to LTL Cockerel. What's your thoughts? Leicester versus Tottenham, which is just finished, and it finished Leicester 1, Tottenham 1. So yeah, it's what are our thoughts? Is what the question of the title is, and I have purposely not looked at my phone because I know what will happen. Not me personally, but I know what happens. So I've not looked at my phone, not looked at any of the groups. And at the end of the day, I'd rather people who watch the game just be objective about it, and and not have an absolute meltdown. Let me see who we got in the chat. Whoops. All right, so in the chat we have Ronnie says, "Big up Jose, not good enough. Sorry. 1-1 versus them. They are a very poor side." Daniel Coy says, "The way people reacting, you would think that this game was game 38 of the league season." Grant is in and says, "Bottled it," and then says, "Glory, Hotspur, questionable." Good morning to you, Milton Nebrega. Good morning. He says, disappointed from Australia. Disappointed with the result. Our finishing was very poor. The amount of chances we had in the first half. Grant says, "We had you on our big screen. We had you on our big screen on in the Porter's Lodge." Fantastic. So you must be working the nights tonight then, Grant. Graham, evening has a mate. Hope you're well. Bit gutted. We should have buried some of those chances, but in the whole, good signs. And then you've got Quez Ali says, "Well, Bergvall is a talent." And then you've got Milton Nebrega saying, "Yeah, it's 7:20 a.m. on Tuesday morning. Well done for being here." Scott M, "Can't be surprised by that result. We were building towards the whole second half of the season last year and did nothing in the summer to fix it." So people. I thought there were green shoots. I enjoyed the game. I thought there were green shoots. I thought there was things that we did do well, and there's things that we can improve on. We weren't going to be finished at the finished article after one game. What I will say is, what do you guys think on Dominic Solanke? I'd rather ask you guys first before I talk about it. But what do you think on Dominic Solanke's performance tonight? Grant says, "Big up Jose, though, on a night shift, going to be listening in while playing Football Manager, waiting for the jobs to come in." Well done, Grant. And Daniel says, "You know, I say it how it is, Jose, mate, but overreaction of the fan base sometimes is mad." Yeah, Daniel, I say it as it is as well, but I'm a bit more level headed and don't fly off the handle at everything. Ricky Osvaldo 73 says, "Ange out." And Jesse, "Good evening to you, my darling," says, "Evening all." Um, I, I mean, me personally, I thought Dominic Solanke did well. I thought our pressing in the first half, especially, I thought our pressing was absolutely superb. We pressed as a team, and it was led by Dominic Solanke. I thought he pressed really, really well, and I thought the team pressed with him in the first half. He gets about the pitch. He's very, very, very quick, and he gets around the pitch. Solanke. I was impressed with Solanke. I thought we got no output at all. I thought Brennan Johnson, I don't know what he was doing today. In the first half, in the second half, I think he perked up. But in the second half, I thought he perked up. But in the first half, there's a couple of poor judgments of error that he made. Sonny, I think Sonny, yeah, I'm still not sold on Sonny playing down the left. I still not sold. I think Sonny's lost a yard 2, 3 yards of pace, and the intimidating factor that he used to have, I think that's gone. I don't think he's got the intimidation factor anymore that he used to have. Defensively, thought the defense played well, apart from Udogie. I thought Udogie, you could see that he's hardly played any pre-season. Buonanotte, who played for Leicester, who's on loan from Brighton. What a player! I thought, well, if he's like that all the time, then Leicester have got a player on their hands inside Brighton. I thought Buonanotte gave it to a doggy the whole of the game, whilst he was on the pitch. That is, I thought he really, really gave a doggy a torrid time. I thought Buonanotte looked a really good player playing for them. Moving into midfield, personally, I thought Bentancur played well until he went off. I thought he was composed, and I thought he'd done well. Sarr had energy. But nothing more than that. He just has energy and runs around the pitch and just has energy. I don't see no end product from him. Or I didn't. Sorry. Let me take. I didn't see any end product from him today from Pat Matasar, but he's got a lot of energy. He just gets around the pitch and he's got loads and loads of energy. Who else played midfield? Oh, Maddison played in midfield, and I thought Maddison had a good game. I prefer Maddison I thought he had a good game, but what I will say is some of his passing, it got to the player. It got to the player, but sometimes it looked like he'd underhit it and the ball would bobble to a player. But Maddison did well, I thought. And as I said, for me, Solanke straight away, the press started with Solanke. And we pressed in the first half, we pressed as a team. With Solanke spearheading that, we did press as a team. Second half substitutions, Bentancur got that injury, which thankfully they're reporting that he's fine, he's sitting up and that, but he's going to be out next for Everton because he'll be a concussion. Well, it was a concussion substitute, so he'll be out for the Everton game because he's got to monitor him for 7 days, and that takes him till next Monday. So he's definitely going to be out of the next game. So it means Tottenham have got to make a decision. What do they do with Basuma? Is Basuma just a one match suspension? What do they do there? Does Bergvall or Gray start? Does Kulusevski start in there? Do you put Kulu in there with Pat Matasar and Maddison? Who knows? I don't know. He's got decisions to make. Bergvall came on, and so did Archie Gray. I thought they did well. Welcome to the first team football to Lucas Bergvall, because he made that mistake, didn't he? And he got absolutely rinsed by Vicario for making that mistake. So welcome to the first team. And yeah, I'm going to say welcome to the first team. But Bergvall did all right. He showed some nice touches. Did all right. Made that one mistake, but apart from that, did all right. And again, I watched Bergvall at least on 2 occasions. He effortlessly goes in for a tackle with the opposing player and comes away with the ball without diving in, without putting his foot and going right into the player. He seems to effortlessly go in for a tackle when you block tackle each other, and walks away with the ball. So he done really well. I thought Bergvall in a couple of tackles where he won repossession. I thought it was good for Gray to get some minutes. I even say it was good to get Spence some minutes as well. I thought, that was good that we got Spence some minutes. What are you guys saying? So, because I've just been rattling along. Solanke, Scott M says Solanke looked like the guy in his first game with a new team. He was okay at times, but unable to do much overall. I thought he'd done some superb pressing, honestly. Grant says, got to give Solanke time. He literally joined a week ago, and this is coming from a Brighton supporter. And you've got James, who loves Spurs, coming in saying, big up to you, sir. Graham says, I'm impressed. His pressing is top notch, gets in good positions, and will find his scoring boost. Exactly what I think, Graham. I think to myself, do you know what? He's playing for us now, and we've got to give him time. We've brought him to the club. We've got to give him time. But he looks, and the pressing started with him, and he put a shift in, and the pressing started with him. I was glad. I thought, when I saw Richarlison on the sideline, I thought Richarlison was going to come and replace him, which ain't no bad thing, because we've been screaming to have 2 strikers that we can rotate if needed. But he actually took Richardson off for sub. All I've got to say, right, to people that I'll come to it in a minute. Right, so hold on, you got talking Tottenham TV. So Jamie says, I have no idea how the hell we drew that. The intensity in the second half was there. At half, there wasn't any. I felt like we were just trying to walk the ball into net. That's 2 points dropped. Ryan says, big up, Senor Jose. Grant says, massive thanks and shout out to whoever gifted me a membership. It's not a sub, it's a membership, Grant. But I understand what you're saying. So he's thanking the person that gifted it to him. I think if you were gifted it yesterday, then I'm sure it must have been Chris Peters who gifted it to you. Yeah, it must have been Chris Peters because Chris Peters done the last gifting yesterday. So if you've been gifted it, then it's Chris Peters. For those people that haven't got any memberships, please switch on your settings to accept gifts. If you switch on your settings, because we've got, I've put it on my community page. We've got such a good fan base, right? That they're gifting, and there's not enough people that can accept the gifts because people are not switching on their settings to accept gifts. So please switch on your settings to accept gifts, and you may well get a gifted sub from this channel. Was Son playing? I completely forgot he was on the pitch. Grant says, my wonder kid Bonanotte, because Grant is a Brighton supporter for those that didn't know. Nick says, trying to pinpoint what the issue is, I can't. This was a collapse. Just about everyone played poorly. Oh, I don't know whether they all played poorly. David Clark says, I lost count of how many times Son got possession and kept passing the ball back 15 yards. Totally ineffective. Daniel Coy says, Jose, we did look sloppy in the second half, though, mate. Johnny Fitz, as Werner and Johnson get out of my club. As simple as that from Johnny Fitz. Ronnie says, Johnson can't trap the ball, beat a man, can't get a crossing, get him out of Tottenham Hotspur. David Clark says, putting Werner on the right wing was the biggest joke. And Sarr just doesn't have enough about his game at this level, and Porro and Doggy are shocking defenders. Say it as you mean it, David Clark. Daniel Coy says that's positive about Bentancur. It's good news, and I think that is. Colin from Talking Ball. I'm not even sure whether Colin's working or not, because Colin said to me he was going to try and. When I went on his channel at half time, he said he might try to take the rest of the day off work, and he was going to come on here. But I presume that because he's not here, he's either tired because he's been non-stop streaming for 4 or 5 hours, or he's gone to work. Ryan G says, did you sell him or loan him, Grant, mate? Always likes him along with the other young lad you've got, Brian. Yeah, he's not been sold. He's on loan to Leicester, Buonanotte. Kulu should have started. That was criminal. I think this is Sonny. Colin's talking about. Can't beat a man, can't cross, doesn't shoot. I think that's who he's talking about. And Ciso is the other player at Brighton. David Clark is. Romero has a lot of blame for that goal. He aimlessly went into the middle without looking over his shoulder to see where Vardy was. Sorry, he does too many times. Does this too many times to be world class. Daniel Coy then says, what Boval done losing that ball that nearly conceded a goal, he's going to learn quick. This is the Premier League. You don't get that time on the ball to try crazy things there. David Clark says, and Porro is shocking for the goal. He saw Romero go inside, but instead of covering as a fullback, you're supposed to, he just stood there until it was too late. Bloody shocking. David Shear, good morning to you, David. I hope you're well. I'm going to have some good news for you tomorrow, David, when we do the reveal show for the competitions that we're doing. Obviously, 2 of the competitions online, they'll be totted up, and we won't find out what the final scores for that are till later on tonight, because they'll put in the bonuses and everything that they've got to do. They'll swap out players that didn't play, so the final results won't be till later on tonight. So I'm going to do them on the show tomorrow, do the Predict the Prem tomorrow. But let me tell you, I've got some good news for you when it comes to the Premiership predictions that we did on the Friday show. Some very, very good news for you indeed, mate. So People are all saying, yeah, David, you're being said to by Ryan to check your settings, mate. Why no super chats, Jose? Don't know. Don't need any super chats. I don't think people are happy tonight because of the scores. John Fitzpatrick as well. So they're saying to John Fitzpatrick and to he sent John Fitzpatrick and to David Clark to switch your settings on to accept gifts, because who knows, you may receive a gift in the future. Colin says Werner's son in this system. If we are playing Solanke to Solanke's strengths, the Midland brothers sound like a tag team for WE. AJ, good evening, my man. Good evening. AJ says, big up, Jose, brother. Good evening, AJ. David Shear says, one game, first game, gents. Keep your powder dry. Grant says that Bonanotte is straight loan with no option to buy. It just signed a new deal too. Jose Kōbe, you have more Spurs shirts than Chan. I do have a few. I don't wear them all, but I do have a few. I wear more here doing the shows than what I actually do when I go and play football. So yeah. Smash the lights is what Jesse says. That'd be good. Daniel says, David, the overreacting is in full force already, mate. Grant's telling us, yeah, and Cisse currently injured after the Olympics with Paraguay. So that's why he's not playing. David Clark, how do I check my settings? If anyone can advise him, then that'd be great. I think. Let me have a look. Let me have a look how to do it. I think you've got to go to the show. Yeah, I think you've got to go to the show and do something to the show. I think you've got to go your own settings and do it. Then Grant says, when you say other young lad, there's quite a few these days. Tigaro, good evening, sir. Says should have been 4-0 at half time, but we didn't finish our dinner. Then it bit us in the arse. Nick is saying, I hope this was just a one-off game. AJ says, Son was not good today. A doggy was poor. Johnson was terrible. Romero, schoolboy error for that goal, but we should have been out of sight in the first half. David Shears thought he'd bottled it. No, you didn't. You've done really well, mate. AJ says, big up to the chat. Ryan G says, smash the likes, people. David Shear, I've just noticed that. I've just gone into it. He says, I press on the membership and no super chats are available. I've just noticed it. What I will say, David, the other day I did a show. I can't remember what day it was. It might have been Sunday. It might have been Sunday that I did a show, or Saturday. I did a show anyway. And when I did it 5 minutes before coming on, YouTube sent me a message to say that they suspended the memberships because there was a form missing. Anyway, I quickly went back and checked. The form has been done. It was a mistake by YouTube. So I sent YouTube back an email, and within about 45 minutes of the show starting, everybody's memberships returned. But I have not got a clue why super chats are not there. I will have to check that out. I'm not sure. Same here, no option. I've just checked it. I can see that now, but I'm not sure why. Annam says Son was much worse than Johnson. I'll come back to that. Side Dancer says, all right, everyone. Side Dancer, as far as I'm aware, I'm doing the competition show tomorrow evening. Around this time tomorrow, I think I'm doing it because I'm working tomorrow, so I'm doing it around this time to go through what we've done in the 3 competitions. And Sai, I noticed, I think on one of the competitions you're doing quite well. And that's all I'm going to say because I've not checked. And like I said, the final scores come out tonight. So Colin says, I asked on my show earlier if people would be anged out if we lost. All the reasonable people on my panel said, of course not, but looks like we're wrong. Reactionary to the maximum. So Ryan says, click on memberships, David, on Jose's channel. Then it should say allow memberships. So click where? Click on the memberships, David, on Jose's channel. Right, and then if you click the settings button on the top right, it should say allow memberships or allow gifts, and that's how you get to do it. I'm on Jose's channel, Ryan. No, Ryan, he's telling David Clark how to accept. Right, so David Clark's now done it. So for the people that haven't done it, we're trying to advise people because people have been generous. We're trying to advise people how to do it. And then you've got people saying hello to each other. So well done. I'm glad that you know how to do this because I wouldn't have known how to do it. AJ, however, it's only the first game and there are some positives to take from it. It's not all doom and gloom. Got people saying hello to each other. Chris Peters, good evening, Chris. I hope you're well, sir. He says Johnson and Werner need to play left back in the changing room. Awful players. And then you've got people. David Clark has done it. So who was the other one apart from David Clark that we were talking? That you were telling someone to do it. There was somebody else that you guys said to, and trying to remember who it was. Oh, it was John Fitzpatrick. I don't. If John's still here, if John wants to do that, then he'll be doing well. Listen, like I said to you guys, right? I would turn around and say to you guys quite clearly is what my thoughts are. I've said what my thoughts are, but you tell me, you guys, you tell me what you thought on the team's performance today. Tell me what you think. You know, this person, I talked about this person already, David. So for me, we looked totally different as a team with Solanke up front. Solanke presses from the top, so Solanke's a spearhead on pressing. And in the first half, we pressed as a team and we pressed up high as a team and we caused them trouble. And that was through the press from Solanke. Solanke's quick. Solanke gets around the pitch. Solanke put a really good shift in tonight. Had one chance, I think, in the whole game. He had one chance where he shot it and the keeper saved it. It's a shot and the goalkeeper saved it. But I thought that Solanke had played really, really well tonight. And, you know, it's a pleasure to see him play. So, yeah, I rated Solanke's performance tonight. And I can see why Tottenham have bought him. I'm going to ask the question now of you guys, right? And the question I'm going to put out to you is, right, people are hammering Johnson. People are hammering Werner. All right. So Johnson and Werner are being hammered by people within the fan base already even after today's game, which I didn't think Werner did that badly when he came on. To be honest, he didn't not miss trap a ball. He controlled the ball. He passed the ball. He ran with the ball. He did what you wanted him to do when he came on, albeit it was on the right rather than the left. But he did more in the time that he came on. I mean, Johnson had in the first half made two terrible errors. You'd think to yourself that his brain was somewhere else when the ball came to him on two occasions. But what I'll say to you is if you're going to hammer Werner and you're going to hammer Johnson, then why ain't Sonny getting none of this? Sonny was in that team tonight. Why is Sonny not getting none of the backlash, right, that people are handing out to Johnson and to Werner? When for me, Sonny is one of the ones that I thought, tonight. I didn't think Sonny showed up. Smithy, good evening, Smithy. How are you, mate? I hope you're well. Nice to see you. Are you still abroad somewhere, exotic, doing all your modelling stuff? David Clark, when something goes against us, we fall apart individually, and then it affects the whole team. And to bring on youngsters and expect them to turn the game around is ludicrous. AJ says Werner gets blamed because he's Werner. Johnson and Son were worse. Son always has people making excuses for him, and it really pisses me off. Listen, it was only one game, right? It was only one game. It's the first game of the season. You pick up whatever points you can at the start of the season, to be honest, because people ain't hit the ground running until 5 or 6 games. So whatever points you get is a bonus. I'm not beating the team up, and I haven't for 1 minute beaten the team up at all. I've just turned around and said that I can see a lot of people, and I'm talking about here as well. I'm not talking about anywhere else because I switched my phones off because I know what the fan base is like. So I switched my phones off. I've not read any chats. I haven't seen my phone since possibly about 5 o'clock this afternoon. So I haven't looked at any of the comments in the chats since 5 o'clock this afternoon. So I know what it's going to be like, and here it says it as well. And here I've seen people talk about Werner, talk about Johnson, and they're awful, and they get him out of my club, this, that, and the other. It's one bloody game, people. And all I'm saying is if there's going to be people having a go at Johnson, okay, Johnson didn't have a really good first half, was probably one of the weaker players in the first half, but he's still one of our players, right? He's still one of our players. And, at the end of the day, Werner is getting, people are jumping on Werner as well. And Werner didn't put a foot wrong when he came on. So I can't understand. Stop. We should be, whilst there are players, we should be supporting them. Whether we agree tactically, not tactically, and we'd rather have someone else within the side than that, fine. That's not a problem at all. Have your comments and have your thoughts. But, at the end of the day, I think that Son needs to answer to his performance today. I didn't think was that great. He can't take a man anymore, can he? I mean, let's face a fact. He can't take a man anymore. Johnson today in the first half. What showed me about Johnson today? Do people remember when Johnson made that tackle on their player and won the ball? Really good tackle he made on the player, and he's picked the ball up and then started running with the ball, or should I say walking with the ball, instead of attacking the space, because he'd beaten the defender high up. It was in our half, and then instead of attacking the ball, he sort of like went walking at walking pace, waited for the defender to get back up, and the defender then tackled him and got the ball off him. You know, and then he kept going like that to his head, didn't he? Because he knew he'd made an error. But he'd done about 2 or 3 in the first half. So at the end of the day, we got to support the team. I mean, it'd be interesting because obviously I've jumped off from watching the game and I've jumped on here, so I haven't even got a clue what Postecoglou said. If he's been interviewed by Sky, I don't even know what he said. But yeah, there's a few players that could have done better today, and there's some players that need noticeable mentions. And for me, that is Solanke. I thought played well. I thought Thingy played well. Bentancur. For me, when after the first half, I went into Colin's show. And I went in and he said to me, "What's your opinion in the first half?" And I said about Solanke, and then I said, and for me, no, the first person I talked about was Bentancur. I said Bentancur tick, Bentancur tick, Bentancur tick. Bentancur was being given the ball. He was trapping it and playing it with his left and his right, 2-footed, and just moving that ball along. And I thought he had a really, really good first half. I thought, in fact, I would have thought I had Bentancur as my man of the match at half time. I thought Bentancur played well. I thought Solanke played well. And Pedro Porro, even without his goal, I thought Pedro Porro had done well. I thought Mickey van der Ven, in all honesty, and I know these are professional players, Mickey van der Ven, I'm not worried, but because Mickey van der Ven made some good tackles today, didn't he? But Mickey van der Ven and Romero haven't had the intense pre-season that the others have had, and neither is a doggy. And you could tell on today's performance, you could tell that a doggy was slightly off it. Yeah, he was slightly off it, a doggy for me, and I think that Romero and Van der Ven probably just needed a little bit of sharpness, and tonight would have done them no harm at all to get some sharpness in. I thought Vicario did well today. Pulled off some saves. He was commanding in the box. He came out for things today. So I think if we get that same Vicario for the rest of the season, then we're all right. Then we're all right. We'll be all right. So because Vicario needed a pick me up after all the slating that people gave him for the 2 games against Bayern. So he did all right. He did well. So got people saying hello to each other here. Hold on, let me see. Spurs, Graham says, gee, some channels are hammering the whole team. The manager, the owners, the bloke that mows the pitch, and the team lady. It's ridiculous. Like I said, at the end of the day, it's overreactions from a lot of people. And, I'm not going to overreact. There's no need to overreact. Some played so much pre-season, he must be so run out. The excuses keep coming, Chris, for Sonny. I hear this all the time. There's an excuse, one after the other. Not from you, from a lot of people for Sonny. Sonny has, for me, has definitely lost the pace, and he's lost that scare them feeling. Players used to hate playing against Sonny, right? And there used to be a fear factor over them. That's gone. In the last 2 to 3 years, that's gone. He's lost his pace, and that's gone. And the only place left for him to play now is on the left side of the front three. But even playing there, he's not beating his man at all. Yet we'll turn around and we'll beat up Johnson and we'll beat up Werner. So yeah, it figures, doesn't it? But it was the first game of the season, and I'm hoping the boys pick up for the next game against Everton. Milton says, I would have started Decky, to be honest. And David Shear says, I heard Sonny didn't get his mobility scooter out of first gear, Jose. Ryan's telling us that Wolves are in for Aaron Ramsdale, according to David Ornstein. David Clark says, you wouldn't pick Werner to play right wing if it was a charity game. They do the mental health charities. I don't know who he's talking to. He's talking to someone there. People are saying, how is everyone? Let me see. People saying hello to Smithy and to James, who loves Spurs, who's in here. I don't know what you've done. Did it on the weekend, Daniel, mate. That's what frustrates me so much. Takes the piss with the ball at his feet. Stevie D. Steve D says, Jose, I've seen your phone. Ange out, Levy out, Johnson out, the kids out, Tits out, Thatcher out, over and out. Superb, my mate, superb. Chris Peters says, Ange out, never going to change. Play a back 3 with drag to fullbacks. David Clark says, none of the top 6 falls apart like Spurs, and it's not a one-off. It consistently happens. We have, good evening, Angus. I hope you are well, Angus. And he says, that was amazing. Trust Angus to come in and joy us all up. It was beautiful. The release says it was beautiful to see my Prue on the pitch. Steady, Senor Jose, we're talking about the Korean god here. At the end of the day, you've got to call it for what it is, Smithy. And, it's nothing. I'm not being controversial, I don't believe, because it's something that I've said for a good while now. And I've said it for a number of years. Now, I've said it for a number of years on other platforms and not necessarily YouTube. And I said it about 3 years ago, and I was shot down in flames for saying it. And all I said, and I'm repeating this story because people have heard this, I did turn around and say it was on a Glory Tottenham Hotspur, the big Facebook fan page, and I went in there, and it was when the World Cup and Sonny had that stupid mask that he had to wear, and I turned around before then. I turned around and I said in the chat, if Liverpool are really surely after and really interested in Sonny and are prepared to pay 100 million, would you take that money? for him? Question mark. So I've asked a question, and then I've turned around and said I would take the money and I would reinvest it in Mohamed Kudus of Ajax and Manuel Ugarte of Sporting Lisbon. And that's what I said at the time, and people shot me down in flames. Well, a lot of the Tottenham fan base are now saying that we need a number 6. A lot of the Tottenham fan base are saying that we need someone that can play on the wing. Mohamed Kudus and Manuel Ugarte. 2 to 3 years ago, I was calling for this. So, you know, don't shoot the messenger. Angus says, super amigo, ¿cómo estás, José? Yo estoy bien, Angus. ¿Y usted? Ojalá que estés bien en España y que hace mucho sol. Ahora es noche, pero por el día mañana, mucho sol. Y todos vamos a la playa. Right, who we got here? Ryan G. It's okay. Espanol goalkeeper. We want 23 playing enemies. Any good answer? Right. Daniel says, Ryan, I'll ask Jose to make me a mod. Then he can hide them Muppets. Can't take a bit of banter, but comes into the Tottenham streams bantering with what a Muppet. I don't know what was going on there. I don't know what's going on there, but someone will tell me. Steve D says, for everyone that said we've not improved the squad with these kids, it wasn't the kids that lost control of the game. They probably stopped us walking away with no points. Testimonial for Sun. They don't do testimonials anymore, David, unfortunately. They don't do them anymore. You've got Ryan G says, Daniel, 2 of the people I get on with the most on YouTube don't get on. Oh, okay. I don't know what's going on there, but there we go. Jose, my scout says Grant. And Graham says Steve D spot on. Chris Peters, I don't know. I mean, obviously, this shows I'm doing it for tomorrow. I was doing because I know I've got work tomorrow. So I'm down to 12th place at the moment, right? Because I'm doing the predictions leagues at the moment. And tomorrow's show, I will reveal what everyone's done this week in the Fantasy Premier, predict the Premiership and in the predictions. But I've got to say that 8 people have hit double points this week, which is absolutely fantastic. 8 people have hit double points. Some of you are here in the chat and probably eager to know where you are in the league, but you probably must know how many points you guys have got already. But in the show tomorrow, it all will be revealed. But like I said, I was trying to do this in the little time that I had when the game finished and coming onto this stream. I've gone in and I've updated the first 12 players. And now I've got to try and find the rest of them. So, yeah, Ryan G, you definitely have double figures, mate. Which is good. It was absolutely great that a lot of you lot have made double figures. Mr. Shear, you've hit double figures. Smithy, you haven't done it. You haven't done it, Smithy. This is the Friday show that I'm talking about. The one that I've been trying to update is the one that I used to do, you know, where we used to do it on the show on a Friday. Well, we did it last Friday for the first week. And then I go away and put it all on that spreadsheet. That's what I've been doing. And I've been trying to get some of that done before coming on now. And I've got down to 12th place at the moment. And I've still got some more to do to update. But what I will say, everybody scored points this week. Everybody. Every single person got points this week. But 8 of you managed to get double points, which is not a bad feat. God, first week of the season, when things are not known about, things are up in the air. Any sort of like score lines can come through. And you guys have done really, really well. Yes, David Clark, you have got double figures. The person, you know that you've got double figures, and you know, if you're keeping tabs on what you're doing, then you'll know how you're doing. But I mean, there's no more. I don't think there's any other news about Tottenham today, is there? We're not linked with anyone, are we? I don't think we are. Yeah, I don't think we've been linked with any other players today. Has anyone? You're smashing it on Jess's one, Jose. You've jumped up loads. What one? Are you talking about Jess's League Championship one? I thought I'd done badly in that one, to be honest. But there we go. Or I had last week. God, that's a bit mad, isn't it? I don't. Are you talking about? You must be talking about the championship one, the Subaru or something. If it's that one, I haven't checked it. I know that I didn't have a good first week. Ryan G says, "I am Daniel for a week." Do you know what? You might not be. I mean, Daniel's kept it on the low today, but Daniel is another one who's got double figures. Daniel is another one who has ended up with double figures. So it's not just you, mate. He's ended up with them as well. Yeah, he's ended up with them as well. So he's done well, the boy. But as I said, tomorrow's show I will reveal everything because tonight the fantasy will have to update. The predict the prem will probably the predict the prem is probably more or less done already and ready to go. Okay, so in the championship one, I've jumped up to sixth. Now, Daniel, I just did a low and face planted because of my boff head. I know Daniel got the score right and the Villa. He done a bit more than that. I think. Right, Daniel must have got. Okay, you're right. Yeah, he got two. He definitely got two. Angus is asking me, do I know anything about the Espanyol goalkeeper, Jean Garcia, any good? Right, I don't know much about him, and I'm going to be honest, I don't. But there has been talk about a fair few clubs being interested in him. I've never seen him play, but I've seen that there's a fair few clubs that are interested in him. I'm sure that's what I've seen. I've read that there's a fair few clubs that are interested in him, but I've not seen him play. I think he might have been one of. I think yeah, there is a fair few clubs in England that have been linked with him and saying that they're interested in him, but I didn't think anything had come about it. To be honest, does anyone know? Because I have not checked. Like I said, guys, I went to play football tonight, so I haven't checked. Does anybody know how Espanyol did tonight? They were playing away against Real Valladolid, and Veliz was starting for them. So I wanted to know. I don't know. I mean, after this show, I can go and check myself, but I just don't know whether anyone has said anything. We've agreed personal terms with him. He's our replacement for we want for Ramsdale. As I said, you're in Spain anyway, Angus, aren't you? I thought you was in Spain already. Do you not watch much of the Spanish football while you're out there? Because I thought you was out in Spain already. I would have thought you probably get more chance of seeing Spanish football than what I do. 1-0, perdón. Perdieron. Okay, so they lost 1-0. Espanyol and Ryan G's confirming it. David Shear says, so we need a quality left back with Destiny being short of a Gallop. No, I'm not saying he's short of a Gallop. I'm just saying he didn't. You can tell that he's not had a full preseason. That's what I'm saying. You couldn't tell that he's had a full preseason. He looked a bit rusty, if that makes any sense. He was a bit rusty. But hopefully that will come with more. I mean, today he wasn't the only one. I think you've got I think both the centre halves who haven't played much pre-season at all. a doggy's been injured, right? A doggy's been injured, right, for the pre-season, David. And with Van der Ven and Romero, they've only just come back from the Copa America, so they didn't have the big pre-season either. So I think tonight done them a power of good. And even a doggy, although a doggy didn't play well, I think it's done them a power of good for all three of them to get 90 minutes of competitive football in the sense of being Premiership game. It was good for all three of them to get the 90 minutes under their belt for all three of them, and it'll bode well for them for the going on in the season. It's only the first game. We played away tonight. We're at home the next game, and I'd like to see how we do. We're up against Everton next. I'm doing a watch along for that on Saturday, but I want to see how we go on against Everton next because Everton didn't get a top score, did they? To be honest, in their first game, they got turned over by Brighton. You have got Mr. Just a Harmless Potatoes here saying evening and big up Jose. Milton Nebrega says lose 1-0. Veliz 70 play 70 minutes. Thank you very much, Milton, for letting me know that. Non mucho solo veo Barcelona. So you only watch Barcelona play then, Angus. And then you've got Daniel Coy says the FPL is a little thing on the side to me. My intentions is to win that prediction league. So are you talking about this prediction league, the one we did on Friday, or are you talking about the predict the Prem? So tomorrow's night show, I will give an update on the first week's scores for Fantasy Premier League for LTEL, the predictions league that we do on a Friday, and I'm also going to be giving the update on the predict the Prem because it's only the first week. In predict the Prem, you can catch up, and in the predictions you can catch up. I suppose you can catch up if you missed the first week of the Fantasy Premier League. You can catch up, but it's daunting when you start looking at a table and someone's got 60, 50, 60, 70 points and you're only starting out. But it can be caught up. I was working it out today when I went to football because I went and played tonight, and I was working it out that if you scored 60 points a week, right, each game week, you got 60 points, you're getting nearly 2,400 points, and that in FPL is massive points. So if you could get 60 points per week, or an average of 60 points per week, that's massive. It's huge. You'll be up there. You'll be really, really, really far up there. Right. So what we got? Yeah, be good. Angus, join us on a Friday. Niall is here. Good evening. Niall says 2 points dropped. Niall and Angus. Niall, turn your if you can, turn your subscriptions. Sorry, not your subscriptions. Turn on gifting. If you turn on gifting, you may get an opportunity to get a membership further down the line. Because what we found is that we've got a generous fan base here, and they've ended up gifting memberships, and they've not gone out because people have not got them turned on. So if you want, we've got Ryan G here, who knows how to do it, or he can talk you through it, and we can get some more people set on the road just in case. Because it's not only for this show; it means you can accept it for any show. Suppose you see a bit disappointed when picking my fantasy team. I don't fantasize over any of the options it gave me. Just a harmless potato says, soy una pelota. Yeah, are you a ball, are you? Just a harmless potato says, I had Son and Solanke in my fantasy team. Well done, because Porro's going to get you big points because he scored. Smithy says, Jose, it's different for me to do a Friday one as I'm here, there, and everywhere. Smithy, like I said to people, if people miss the show on a Friday and they can't do it on the show, then all that we do is that at the end of the show, right? At the end of the show, on the stream itself, at the end of it, if people leave their scores there, I will accept them as long as they're done before any of the games kick off. If any of the games are kicked off when I receive them, then the ones that have kicked off won't count. But the only thing that I'm not doing is I'm not chasing people like I used to. Just like Angus, mate. But hopefully he will be better. Daniel Coy says, both Jose, my intention is to win both, mate. Angus says, ¿A qué hora el viernes, Jose? On Friday, Angus, we do it at 4 o'clock in here in England. But what I'll do, for those that want to enter, that haven't entered, this is the predict the football. It's premierleague.predictthefootball.com, and then you enter the code, and that takes you to Eltel Cockerell's mini league, and then you can enter that, and they will send you an email reminder every week to tell you time to predict the Premiership, and then you do it, and they'll also send you an email to tell you how you've done for the week. And then for anyone else who hasn't entered so far, we've also got the fantasy.premierleague.com. So we've got an Eltel Cockerell League there, and you've got the code there to enter into the Eltel Cockerell League. And do you know what? No. And then yeah, the Friday one that we do is the one that I have to update, which is done by me manually. And on that one, we had, it wasn't bad last year, just to give people kind of a flavour of what we did last year. Last year, we started off with about 18 people the first week. And by the time we finished the season, we'd had 119 play. I think this time round, we've had 32 people in the first week. So we've had more the first week join and play than what we had last year. But I don't know whether we'll get to 119 this year. I did miss a lot of the Leeds crowd that were doing it last year that didn't come across on Friday to do it. The only person that came across to do it was Big John, LUFC Garside. He came along and did it. You got Mr. Shear. I don't talk to me, mate. Okay, I don't know what's happening there. You must be talking to each other. Poro and his as well. David Clark says he had 9 points after 6 matches. Just he ain't played that much in the last year, but I'm sure he will be fine. I've got Saliba Angus. So Angus could possibly be here Friday. It'd be interesting to get your thoughts and get you in. But if I do see her at a game, I'll tell her for you, mate. Ryan G says wish I'd put in Saka now. Ryan G says put in Gordon because I thought Newcastle were going to smash it with Southampton. Listen, when we do the show tomorrow, we'll do a bit of explaining to some people, because at the end of the day, it's difficult to do the fantasy football because there's so many players that you can pick, right? There are so many players that you can pick, and it's getting the right permutations of the players that you end up selecting. Now, you got to remember that all the players that if you had any players that played away from home last week and they got you points, then next week they'd probably be at home. So, you'd like to think to yourself, got a good chance of getting more points because they're going to be at home. And the teams that played at home this week, if they got you points this week playing from home, then next week they're going to be away. So, it's a case of, and then when you do your transfers this week in game week, or now that game week one's finished, for next week's fixtures, you can make one free substitution. If you do any more than one, the second one, the third one, they'll all cost you 4 points before a game kicks off per one that you do. And it's up to you. If you're mad and you want to redo or reselect and do a wholesale changes, you can use your special bonus, but that means you've used it like in game week 2 of the season, and the season's got ages to go. Angus says he did FPL 2 years ago and lost, had to shave his hair off. Ryan G says I captained Isaac over Haaland as well. Senor Jose, do you not get to games anymore? No, I've not been able to get to a game for a while. And particularly this season is going to be even worse because where I live, we call it Southern Foul, the trains. Instead of Southern Rail, we call it Southern Foul. They've made so many. The timetable has been absolutely diluted where I am. It takes ages to get up to London, and then coming back. If the games are, the games tend to be, if the games are in the evening, say a 5:30 kickoff, right? And the 5:30 kickoffs would generally be on a Saturday. I'd be hard pressed getting out of the stadium and trying to get a train back home, even if it's a 5:30 kickoff on a Saturday. If it's a midday kickoff, like the early kickoff on a Sunday, you're hard pressed to get up there, even if it's a 2 o'clock kickoff on a Sunday. You're pushed to get up there. You probably could get up there, providing they've not done any rail replacements or they're fixing the tracks like they do every bloody weekend. So it's kind of really got dicey. The only time I could really get up to Tottenham is if the Saturday 3 o'clock games. They're the ones I can probably get to, because on a Saturday you tend to get trains that get you back home. So yeah, it's difficult with the timings. But now that we're playing in a Thursday night competition, it means that most of our games are going to be on a Sunday, aren't they? They're going to keep rearranging our games to a Sunday, so it makes it a bit harder for me to get to. David Clark says, "Do you think Ange has conned more by giving him game time in the pre-season? Then he signs the contract, then Ange leaves him out of the squad. It stinks to me." It's difficult, right? This is a difficult one to answer, David, because I thought about this today when I was on my way back from playing football and I saw what the team was. I looked at it and I thought to myself, do you know what? I thought exactly what you're saying. I don't know about being conned. I think conned is a bit too much, too harsh a word for me, saying the word con. But I thought to myself, he has been given a new contract, and he wasn't in the 20 tonight, right? But in the 20 tonight, there was always going to be people that missed out, right? So he wasn't the only one that didn't make the squad. There would have been others as well that didn't make the squad as well and missed out. But what I will say is, at the end of the day, just because you get given a contract doesn't mean it's the end. You're on a guarantee. You've got to work at it, and he probably needs to work at it. But what I don't want to see is, what I'd rather not see is that he's been put into the under-21s. Because if you're going to keep him around the first team, then keep him around the first team. I'd like to see that he's not being put back into the under-21s. But who knows? I don't know, because I'm not the manager of Tottenham Hotspur, so I wouldn't know whether that's happening or not. But it's something I did think about today. So, right, what have we got here? We got Dave Shear says, my Aussie Rules team are bottling it. Maybe I'm the jinx. Angus says, was in a group with amigos. That was the forfeit. We don't have any forfeits here. The only forfeit we have is if Daniel Coys loses. Are you, David, mate, just like I am with Tottenham and England? Daniel Ryan G says, don't worry, David and Daniel. It could be worse. You could have England and Wolves for the teams you support. Tekken, good evening. Tekken says, good evening, guys. But I did call it on Talk and Ball earlier this evening. What did you call, Tekken? Because I wasn't there. So what did you call, mate? Let me know. David Shear says every second week we have to travel 2,000 kilometers, not level at all. What was your thoughts on our performance versus Wolves if you watched it? I thought that Arsenal did what Arsenal do. I don't think that Arsenal had to play or played particularly, firing football, but then it's the first game of the season. Some people out there have got some mad thoughts that you should be smashing and hitting the ground running first game of the season. That doesn't happen. It takes about to get up to speed in the Premiership for a new season, whether you've had a pre-season or not. It's going to take 5 or 6 games before you find your feet, and that's when everything starts getting normalised. So there's a lot of people that was going mad, and not just the Tottenham fan base, but other fan bases as well, going mad. It's the first game of the season, so I thought, Arsenal won. I thought Wolves gave them a game. It weren't a walkover, and Arsenal won. They got the 2-0 victory. But I will say, right, and I don't hate the player. I think he's a very good player, Saka. but he needs to stop diving. He really does need to stop diving. On 2 occasions in that match, he dived, blatantly dived. When the ball was nowhere near him, he blatantly dived, and he will get Arsenal into trouble. He'll get himself into trouble because he'll pick up cards if he's not wary. If he's not careful, he'll pick up cards for it. And then it could affect Arsenal in the long run if he was to get a card. Let's say he had another yellow card or something already, and he went and dived and he got given a red for it, or he got given a yellow and then made a stupid little tackle that gave him a further yellow. He could put his team into trouble. He needs to stop the diving. If he's getting smashed, and he's getting hit hard and that, then and you go down, then fine, I've got no qualms at all. But when you're nowhere near the ball's nowhere near, or the player's not tackling you, why dive? It's not worth it. Smithy says that sucks, Jose. I'd love you in the South Stand with us lunatics. When Smithy Airlines comes, I'll have to fly you in and out of games, mate. I think someone had a ticket for Everton on Saturday, and I suppose I could have asked, but I didn't, and I think it was touted to somebody else. So, but yeah, I would love to get to a game. I will say that I've not been to the new stadium, i.e., in the sense I've not been inside the new stadium for a new football match. I've been to the new stadium, i.e., outside it, on many occasions because I work up that way, Smithy, for my job. So I go past every time I go to work. So tomorrow I will be going past the Tottenham area in order to go to work. So I'll be going past the stadium again tomorrow. And then when I come home, I'll be going past the stadium again. So I've been and I've got off at White Hart Lane and I've walked down, totally changed. They've changed the station and everything to what it used to be. And I've walked down to the ground and everything and looked around and taken videos. I've taken photographs at the ground, but I've not actually been inside for a game. David Clark saying nobody's going to convince me that Moore wouldn't have made a bigger impact on the game than Werner did. No right foot and too laboured. Daniel Coy says, Smithy, I'm on that plane as well, mate, with some air hostesses, I hope. Your answer, Ryan, from Angus is we played it, controlled it, and professional. Tekken says, I said a Winks masterclass and 2-1 Leicester. It should have been had Vardy not missed his second chance. Lots of people said we'd smashed them tonight. Tekken, we had chances as well. So, at the end of the day, we had chances. Right, we've got another one here. We've got Lord Rodney Trotter is here. Right, so Lord Rodney Trotter, good evening. Nice to have you here, mate. We've got Ryan, can you tell Lord Rodney how to do it? Like Lord Rodney, what we're doing is everybody that comes on here that hasn't got a membership at the moment, because we've got such a fantastic fan base, or sorry, fantastic support on this channel, they gift out memberships. And when they gift them out, they don't end up going to anyone because people haven't switched it on their settings. So if you want to switch your settings on to get an opportunity, but it means it's not just this channel, you can receive it for any channel, then Ryan G will talk you through it and let you know how to do it. I don't know who's the bigger team, Bournemouth or Spurs. Ooh, interesting word. People talking about the other two, Arsenal and Wolves. Yeah, so I've now got to, whilst talking to you guys, I've now got to 17th place, and now I'm looking at the others. I don't think other people got the correct scores, did they? What is he saying here? Peter Kagaias. Hello, Peter. How are you, mate? I hope you're well. Says hi all. It's 8:23 in Melbourne. Peter, did you get on? Did you get to watch the game today? Was you on the night shift, sir? So yeah, Ryan, tell me how to do it because I'd like to know how to do it because I haven't got a clue. I know that I switched mine on ages ago, but I don't know how I did it. Angus says, "Well, Bournemouth are bigger because they've won a trophy before you have." Bournemouth have won what trophy, Angus? Have you been on the sangria? Have you, have you been drinking a little bit of sangria without people telling people, or have you been drinking a bit stronger stuff? Aguardiente. Have you been drinking aguardiente, mate? Because how come when did Bournemouth win a trophy before we have? Um, so we've got not only have we got him, but we've got Leo. Hello, Leo. Leo the Mile High Hotspur says Jose Mahomey. I'm not worried about the result. I think we looked good and struggled where we all knew we would. Good way to get going. Could have been better, but if I'm not upset whatsoever. Leo, I've said so far, mate, that my thoughts on the match is that I thought Solanke played really, really well. Yeah, for me, Solanke played really, really well. I thought Solanke pressed from the top, and we looked really good in the first half with the pressing that Solanke gave us, and he spearheaded our press where everyone pressed in tandem with him, and we looked really, really good in the first half doing it. We didn't press as much in the second half, and that's probably because they came more into the game. It is a Premiership game. We didn't lose the game. Uh, I will remain level-headed. There were some really good performances. So for me, I mean, you watched the game as well. Just finished watching the second half replay. Okay, so for me as well, I thought that thought Solanke played well. For me, the man of the match in the first half for me was Bentancur. Bentancur would receive the ball, left foot, right foot, and he would pass it with his left foot and his right foot as well. And he just ticked the ball, kept the ball ticking over. And I thought he had an immense first half. Thought he played well in the second half, but obviously that header where he got concussed didn't help him out because he had to come off. But I thought Bentancur played well. Thought Pedro Porro played well as well. Pedro Porro played really well as well for me. I thought that Udogie was off the pace, really off it completely. And I think Buonanotte gave him a hard time, but it's not to be should have been expected because Udogie hasn't had a pre-season, hasn't played at all in pre-season. Next to no minutes, didn't do any of the pre-season at all. And the two boys in centre backs have just come back from their holidays from their because they've been playing in them competitions, and for them they haven't had a pre-season, but it was good for all three of them to get 90 minutes under their belt today. Yeah, someone says Madison. Madison was very good first up as well. Ryan, I think he's good, but I think he played well. But like I said, some of the passing that he does, it looks like the ball bobbles, so he's not hit the ball hard enough. It gets to the player, but it just looks like he's hit the ball, hasn't hit the ball hard enough and stuff like that. But you know, at the end of the day, it is what it is. And you know, we move on to the next game, and I'm not gonna beat the team up. I'll leave that to others, but I won't be beating the team up for that performance today. How do you think, Leo, it went? Because obviously you just got back from watching it. Um, Ryan Jesus is championship trophy. Right. When year did Bournemouth get promoted to the Premier League from the Championship? 2015, wasn't it? I don't know. I don't know what promotion's got to do with winning something. I don't think Bournemouth won. Did Bournemouth win the league when they came up? I don't think they did. I'm not sure, but I don't think they did. They might have done, but I'm not too sure. But I might be told different. I might be told different. I heard Bergvall and Grey Hopeless Lolo. They did okay by me. Peter, yeah, they did do all right. They did do well. Bergvall did do one mistake though. If you saw Peter in the second half when he came on, and from the mistake that he made, he was berated by Vicario, and all I said on the chat earlier is welcome to the Premier League, because at the end of the day, he did that, and yeah, he got shouted at from the rooftops, and like I said welcome to the Premier League. So, you know, at the end of the day, it is what it is. And here we go. We've got so just typing this in. We have the thoughts from Leo, which I'm going to read out. I'm always interested in what he's got to say, because Leo is level-headed when he watches the games, doesn't lose his rag. I'm good, Jose. Home, about to make dinner with the family. When I go to the pub, I've got to come home and win some brownie points. You know all about that, don't you? Yes, I do, mate. I win my brownie points before I do any streams. So I went and won my brownie points. Like, if people didn't know, on Saturday, I agreed. Apparently, I agreed this a while ago. But on Saturday, I went to the theatre with my wife and my daughters, and we went to watch Grease. So I ended up going to watch Grease with them, and I did so, and obviously gained brownie points for doing so. So yeah, I'm fully aware of how to go about and getting my brownie points. So yeah, I do know that I am one of those people. So I do know. Just let me check these last two. Inner hype, Rakdos. Right, so I've got them there. Daniel Coy says, like I said earlier today, Tottenham and winning comfortable never goes in the same sentence. Similar to Ryan G and technology don't go in the same sentence. Just a harmless potato says, 14-15 they got promoted. They finished first under Howe, but then got relegated after 4 seasons. I live in England. I live on the coast, in the southeast, on the coast beside the English Channel is where I live. The murky English Channel is where I live, mate. So yeah, I live down on the south coast. Let me do this one again. I'm just wary that I've got things to do before tomorrow, and I just want to make sure they get everything done on time. All right, put that one in there. I'll be with you in a second, people. Let me see what you're saying. Listen to what Mr. Steve the Ledge Perriman said. He was spot on. So yeah, Steve Perriman did a broadcast, didn't he? A podcast the other day. I haven't heard it myself. Yeah, I haven't heard it myself, but knowing Steve, it would be a sensible war cry for Tottenham, because he is Tottenham through and through. There's no doubt about it. There's no iota at all. He is Tottenham through and through, Mr. Stevie Perriman. So yeah. Right, so we're nearly there on it. Scott Radcross. Right, people, I've nearly done it. I might be able to give a few spoilers. I've nearly done it. Nearly done it. So, I don't think he's watching at the moment, but the champion from last year has started his title defense and is currently in 29th place. 29th place, the person who won the predictions last year. He did one game less because he didn't come on. He didn't do Fridays. He started his matches on Saturday, but he is currently in 29th place. And we put him here, and then we put this gentleman here. Right, I have a table sorted out for the show for tomorrow, but I can give a few spoilers out, I think, if people want to know, really want to know. All right, it's that one done. And there we are. And that's done there. And that's it. League table updated for tomorrow's show. Right. So we're... ¿Y cómo sabes hablar español? Porque tú hablas muy bien. Sencillamente porque mis padres son españoles. So if my name is Jose, Angus, what do you reckon? Do you reckon I'm Spanish if my name is Jose? My mum and dad are from Galicia, and I was born in England, but my parents are both Spanish, so it makes me fully 100% blood Spanish. And I studied Spanish. I went to Spanish school after English school. So when people went home for their tea and went to play with their mates and that after school, I would go from English school at the end of school, and then I'd go to Spanish school. So then I wouldn't get in from school till about 6 in the evening, have my tea, and I'd probably get an hour out with my mates when I was in primary. So yeah, so I did Spanish. I'm fluent in Spanish, both orally and written in Castellano, which is the mother tongue, and I can also speak Gallego as well. So yeah. So at the end of the day, it was a lot of hard work. My parents put us all through, me and my sisters. But yeah, that's how you got it. Angus says, Ryan G, come on Friday. I will be there. Tottenham on tour with Roadman and Daigle. What time is the show, Jose? It's tomorrow evening, so it'd be early morning for you. I think I might have done it at 10:30 in the evening, David. So it would be probably an hour before what it is now. So this, I started this one at 10:15. Tomorrow's one for the updates will be at 10:30 in the evening. So for your good self, that would make it 5:30, I believe, in the morning. For Leo, although Leo didn't enter on Friday, did he? Leo didn't enter on Friday, but for Leo, obviously, well, no, for the North Americans that did enter, it would be 4:30 and 5:30 and 3:30 in the afternoon for them. And if we had any of the Indian people enter, it'd be late for them because it would be like 10:30 would make it 3 o'clock in the morning for the Indian people that may have entered. But yeah, I'm going to do this show tomorrow night and update everybody on the predictions. So we had 32 people enter predictions last week. I was saying, David, earlier that 8 people have hit double figures this week, which is absolutely brilliant. One person stands out because one person got 3 correct predictions in. Sorry, 2 people got 3 correct predictions in. There's quite a few that got 2 correct predictions, and there's a few that got 1. So I think up to 15th, everyone got at least 1 correct prediction in, at least 1. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see. Then Ryan G says, I want some Spanish lessons, Jose and Angus. Angus's Spanish is good. He's writing in Spanish is good. But then he's lived there for 10 years near Alicante. And if you visit cerca de Alicante, you're going to be able to speak Spanish. Although you do get a lot of an English community in the Alicante area. The Mile High Hotspur, Leo says, Angus, ¿a poco hablas español, carnal? Muy bien, animo. And then he says, me caíste muy bien ahora más, loco. What the fuck? I got the accent. No worries, mate. Yeah, I don't know. Do any of you guys want to know where you ended up in the first week or not? Although I'm doing the show tomorrow, but I suppose I could sneakily tell some of you lot because I'm not sharing the table. I won't be sharing the table or anything like that, but I can tell you where you finished. Or what points you've got, or where you are if you want to know. I'm sure I can do that. I won't be breaking anyone's confidence by doing that. But then be sure to watch the show tomorrow night, though. But yeah, that's where we are. That's where we are. But yeah, so that's now updated. So I've got that out of the way. So like I said, Fantasy Football Premier. Okay, so Fantasy Football Premier will resolve itself tonight. So by tomorrow, we will know where everyone has ended up. And the other the other competition, Predict the Prem, that will probably be updated now already, but I'll share that tomorrow. I'll share everything tomorrow. I'll share the Fantasy Premier as well. I'll share the positions that people have finished in. Jose, do you know Valenciano or Castellano? Yeah, like I said, Angus, Castellano, I'm fluent orally and written in Castellano. Castellano is the mother tongue of Spain. So proper Spanish is Castellano, and I can speak Castellano. But then I can also speak Gallego, which is the dialect from Galicia. So if you live in Spain and you're in Alicante, you will know where Galicia is. So I'm from La Coruña in the northwest. So I can speak both Gallego and Castellano, both orally and written. You've got Daniel Cross says, just like the Premier League table, I don't look at the table until it gets really serious. That's so hard to learn. Which part is so hard to learn, Angus? I mean, obviously, I'm Spanish, so therefore, being Spanish for me, if I wasn't going to pick, I picked up as a child. So since childhood, I've always been able to speak it, and I studied it. So, but then if you're someone that's gone over to Spain and you're a foreign person in Spain, then obviously it's going to take you a bit longer to pick up to pick up both Castellano, and if there's any dialects, you're in any part of Spain where there's dialects, it's difficult to then pick up both. So Valenciano is so hard. So Valenciano, so the people from Valencia are below Catalonia, right? And in Catalonia, in the Barcelona area and stuff like that, in Catalonia they speak Cataluñés, which is it's like a Russian. For me, the only thing I can describe it, it's like a Russian tongue, where they drop words when they speak. So, if you're saying it in Spanish and then you say something in Cataluñés, it's like they drop every third word. But then if you're looking at the Basques again, you speak Vasco, and those Vascos, yeah, to me it's a Russian language as well. So yeah, it's difficult to pick up dialects, mate. Um, Pete, Pete, David, Pete says, David, the Anglo tongue just doesn't turn long. And David Shear says, I'm fluent in Strayan and English. And Angus is agreeing that I'm saying that's true. Daniel Quiz, end of the day, I like a bit of banter and shit talk with my opponents. I'm going for a win. I'll let you all enjoy the first few weeks. Fantastic. Well, look, people, thank you for being here tonight. I was learning in Valenciano in school, never got the hang of it. I will thank you all for being here tonight. On your way out, do us a favor and smash the like button if you haven't done so already. I'll be on again tomorrow at 10:30 to do the updates for the predictions and stuff like that. At the moment, I'm definitely on Friday to do the predictions, and I'm doing a watch along on Saturday. From what you guys have told me, I've learned something new tonight, and that is I need to look at all the settings on YouTube because of what you said about the membership. Not the memberships, about the super chats, and I will see whether I can get something sorted with YouTube about that. So thank you very much for letting me know. I wish each and every one of you, whatever part of the world that you're in, I wish you either a very, very good day. So those people in Australia, it's your Tuesday morning. I wish you all a really, really good Tuesday, fruitful Tuesday. For those people that are watching in Europe, either whether you're in England, Ireland, or whether you're in Spain, right? I wish you a very, very pleasant evening and a restful sleep, because we're just about to go to bed, and when we wake up, it will be Tuesday morning for us. And for those that may be watching from North America, I wish you a great remainder of your Monday, and I wish you all the best. And then we'll be able to see you tomorrow. Ryan says, go to join memberships. Go to join memberships, then settings top right, then allows the memberships. Right. So where am I going when you go to join memberships, Ryan? Where am I going? Because I'm not in. Right. Do I have to be on YouTube to do that? So you're gonna have to talk me through this. So on my YouTube screen, because I'm in the studio at the moment, so I can't see from in the studio how to do it. We have got Dr. Johnny D7 says, hi, good evening, Dr. Johnny D7. I hope you're well. Thank you for popping on. We were just finishing the stream, but thank you for popping on anyway and saying hi. It's a pleasure having you here. So if I go into YouTube, and so now in YouTube, I'm currently watching this show on YouTube. Right, I'm watching myself on YouTube, Ryan. And whilst I'm watching myself on YouTube, on the right hand side, I've got the chat, so I can see the chat. Where am I meant to be going to? Because on mine it says join, analytics, and edit video is what it says on mine at the bottom, underneath the where I am. So you go to settings. Right, how do I get settings? So you go to the settings within YouTube, do you, Angus? Right, so you go to settings, it says, and so I'm in settings now, it says account, notifications, playback and performance, privacy, connected apps, billing and payments, advanced settings. I might have to do that on somebody. See, I've done it. Yeah, I can't see it on my channel. That's right. I couldn't see it on mine, so it'd have to be on somebody else's. I'll have to check to see how it does. But I've done it. I done it, Ryan. But I did it on my phone. I did it ages ago, but I did it on my phone, and that's why I'm able to accept the stuff because I did it on my phone. So fair enough. Right, guys. I'm gonna let you all go. Like I said, I'm gonna love you and leave you lot. Have a really pleasant remainder to your Tuesday in North America. Have a good sleep and a good rest if you're in Europe. And for those in Australia who are going about their Tuesday morning, have a fantastic day. I will see you all tomorrow at 10:30 in the evening for the reveal for all the results from predictions, Fantasy Premier, and also from Predict the Football. So, guys, thank you very much for being here, and I shall catch up with you all tomorrow. Take care, everyone. See you later. Bye.